Hey everyone, Pat Mesiti here on a Friday, and look, I got some great news. It's some bad news, but I got some greater news. And here's the thing: yesterday, in the Courier Mail, Brisbane records its coldest day since 1904. But hang on a minute, hang on a minute. If you listen to the Schwab mob and the climate change lunacy crazies, I thought the planet was overheating. You see, this is the problem. To sustain or to convince people of a lie, you've got to keep being persuasive. People aren't convinced of something based on whether it's true. It's the repetition and the continual persuasion that convinces people. That's what Adolf Hitler did in the Second World War. People didn't follow him and were convinced and went out and massacred millions of innocent people because of truth. They did it because they were persuaded by a lie. And I'm telling you right now, our world is becoming fully persuaded. Our nation is already over the line in persuasion. And now, listen to me carefully, folks. Now, then, in our new Labor government, not just state, but federal, you know that right now, 23 of the team that Mr. Albanese has, 11 of them had positions with unions. Then 13 of them were policy advisors to state and, at times, federal governments. You know we're in trouble when these guys, the unions, the striking. I was raised in a union family, in a union area. I was raised in Bankstown. I mean, it doesn't get me more union driven than where Paul Keating was. And the crazy thing is now, these lefty nutcase out of control deletes, not elites. We're not calling them elites anymore. We're not calling the Schwab mob anymore elites. We're calling them the deletes because they want to delete our voice. They want to delete our sound. They want to delete our belief. They want to delete our faith. And of course, we all know that Morrison was heavily involved in the World Economic Forum and its race to a social credit score with digital identity. Now, if that doesn't scare half the preachers, I don't know what the hell will. And don't get mad at me because I said, what the hell? Already in Bologna, they've established a credit system. China already has, that determines whether you're a good citizen or not. Parts of the UK are there and Germany are there. Australia is next. Now, listen. We don't have to fall for this. And here's the reason why they're not making a lot of noise about it, because of the massive reaction, just like they did when we started to march on our streets in Sydney, Canberra, and everywhere else. That's what they're concerned about. That's why they're doing it in the dark. But let me tell you, whatever is done in the dark will come to light. We know that. Whatever is done in the dark will come to light. And we cannot afford to sit there silent. So you say, Pat, what can we do? Well, number one, the first thing you can do is realize that we cannot throw our arms up in the air and say, well, it's already in place. We can't do much about it. No, you and I have a voice. You and I have beliefs, and you and I must be heard. Number two, we can support people like George Christensen out there and what he's doing, magnificent work out there, reporting independently and truthfully what is going on. George this week did a brilliant thing on exposing who is really in the WEF in our Australian politics. But the other thing is this: you've got to make sure that your voice is heard. You've got to make sure your voice is heard. The next thing is you need to prepare for your future now. Don't wait for the future to arrive. We've got to think of the ant. The ant prepares in summer for the fall and in fall for the winter. We need to be a season ahead. Most of us catch up or are just after the event. We can't afford to do that now. We need to be vigilant. We need to be aware. You know, Jesus warned us of these things. And I'm not trying to get religious on you, but he did thousands of years ago. He told us about this. Book of Revelation is full of it. I still don't know what part of the book of Revelation these preachers aren't reading. They're doing my head in. These woke-topian churches who are too busy doing stuff, waving the flag for George Floyd. Seriously, what are they going to do next? Wave rainbows everywhere? Give me a break. We need to be aware because the Master said that we must be vigilant and prepared. Our oils, our lamps must be trimmed and burning. We've got to be ready, folks. We've got to be ready. You can't afford to be on the back step, on the back foot. We've got to be on the front foot, realizing these things are happening right before our very eyes. Biblical prophecy is happening right before your very eyes. And it's not a time to throw up our arms because those things were not sent to scare us, but to prepare us. Preparedness. That's what they're worried about. And of course, we'll be labeled conspiracy theorists. All the things we said would happen, have happened. What's a conspiracy theorist? Well, someone who's about 3 months ahead of the lefties' agenda. That's what it is. And I want to encourage you. Support voices. Don't throw in the towel. Figure out what you can control and what you can't. You can't control their agenda. You can't control their evilness. You can't control their mind. But what can you do? You can control yours. You can control your life. You can control your finances. You can control your attitude. You can protect your family. You can choose when, where, how you want to worship. That's what you can do. So I want to encourage you. Be the people that are on the front foot and be prepared. These things are happening. They're happening right now. And we must prepare. Hey, thanks for listening in. By the way, next Wednesday, an amazing story with my great friend Ethan Donati. You've got to hear this guy. Look, many of you, as I said the other day, have got gifts, talents, abilities, hobbies, knowledge. You've got to learn to monetize it. The only reason why I'm able to do what I do is because I decided to take control of my destiny, become a voice, and so can you. Why don't you join us next Wednesday? Ethan's story is simply remarkable. This kid got kicked out of school on his first day in kindergarten. He was that introverted. But today, he's a financial freedom fighter. You need to hear his story. You need to hear his strategy and his structure. I know it's going to help you. By the way, on Sunday, I have a very powerful message. 9 a.m. I'm going to be speaking on like a thief in the night. He's coming, ready or not. Just remember when we were kids, we'd be out there playing hide and seek, and we count to 10. Here I am, coming ready or not. Well, Jesus said the same. I'm going to show you how to prepare. I'm going to teach you what the good book says, what the Bible says about the coming and the signs of the times. Feel free to tune in. God bless you.